Hey y'all, this is Erica with Students of Life Podcast. If you're finding value in the Students of Life Podcast, we'd love your support. Your support allows us to grow and continue bringing you meaningful content. You can show your support by checking out our exclusive merchandise at studentsoflifepodcast.com. Every purchase not only gives you something unique to wear, but also directly fuels the podcast growth. Prefer to donate? That's cool. Just hit the donate button on our homepage. Every bit of support helps us expand, reach more listeners, and dive even deeper into the topics that matter most to you.
Welcome to the Students of Life Podcast. And I am your host, Courtney, and with me is Erica, my wife.
Hi.
How you doing today, wife?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great. How's everything going on here?
Everything on my end is great. Work is great. Kids are great. My husband is great. We're great.
Your husband is real great, I tell you that.
He's all right. See?
I'm just tooting my horn just a little bit. I ain't gonna go too far.
Beep, beep. You're done.
But you're looking at me like I'm fixing to say something crazy, though. Is that what you think of me?
Because I knew you were lying when you said you weren't.
I was not lying. I promise you.
Okay.
I have nothing bad to say. More so,
The people who listen to us know you lying.
well, that can be misleading sometimes. You know, just because something happens 4 times in a row does not mean it's going to happen the 5th time.
We call bullshit.
That's called a fallacy if you do.
Don't you start that shit.
With that being said, I just wanted to say, you know what? This still wouldn't have been capable, us here without you, really.
Of course not.
And this is more so to give you thanks. You bought this equipment years ago, and when we were ready, it was already ready to go when we had the idea up, ready to go. All we had to do was just sit down and do the work. And so technically this wouldn't have been easy or as capable of us doing this without you. So with that right there, all bullshit aside, no jokes aside, thank you.
You're welcome. Who knew you could be nice?
I'm very nice.
Hear that dead silence?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't that day, was it?
Cheat.
To you.
Okay.
All right.
Don't edit it out either.
I mean, I can. I've become real good at editing things out. So,
what are we talking about today? It's been a while since we have released something and had a chance to sit down and talk with our favorite people out there in podcast land.
Yeah, it has been.
Life has been life, and y'all, I'm sorry.
We've been getting things together, and but it's very good with some of the things that we've been getting together. Erica's had some great things that's happened to her too. Whenever she wants to share that, she will. So, but this episode is about the mask we wear, uncovering the truth to our identities. And what that means is we're going to start this out by looking at the origins of what it means to wear the mask. And the origins of wearing a mask came from the Celts, and they celebrated this holiday called Samhain, and they put on masks. And they put on masks because during this particular time of the year, the veil was very thin between, the realm that we're in
and the
dead. And so they wore masks to protect themselves from the spirits.
Mm-hmm. They still do today, by the way.
Yeah. What that means for us is one of the reasons why we even still celebrate Halloween today. It became this major holiday, but I find it very interesting that we wear masks, but we wear them in a different way. They wore them for protection then from spirits, but we still transcended that, and we still wear it for protection to today. But it's more for societal protection. What do you think about that?
So, excuse me, I agree with you on that. I think that a lot of times we are put in situations where we are not allowed to be our authentic selves, right? Whether that's with family or it's at work. Sometimes when you look in the mirror, you still got one more mask to take off, So I think there are a lot of reasons that go into us wearing these masks. And I know that we're going to dig into most of them. And I'm actually quite excited to jump in and talk about these because I think a lot of times people don't even understand or realize that they're wearing a mask.
And I also believe it's scary sometimes when you don't know you're wearing a mask because you unintentionally created it.
Or someone created it for you. That's worse.
Yeah. Or you created it just to fit in. Sometimes you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know. You're unaware of it sometimes. But also besides just the origins of, from a historical point of, like holidays, there's still more origins to what it means to wear a mask, because either it's through modern day psychology, or it's either through what I call our modern mythology. And mythology, which is modern, would be comic books. A lot of people don't look at comic books as mythology, but hey, you know what? That's just how I look at it.
I think by now, our lovely listener family knows there's a lot of things people don't call things that you relate to things.
I do that with a lot. I make a lot of uncommon analogies.
Your brain is extremely abstract.
Yeah, that's where it works best. With that being said, it's two things I want to focus on, and that's the philosophy of wearing a mask, and that's with Jung and Nietzsche. Mm-hmm. Okay. What it is like with Jung, he called it the persona. That was the mask. That was the one that everyone shows the world. That was that mask. But that is one thing that him and Nietzsche actually agree on. That the mask that we originally wear is for society and what they see of us. Mm-hmm. That overall, they have the same ideas about.
Yeah.
But it's the other parts that it differs a little bit. Because Jung, when he talks about it, he talks about the shadow. And the shadow is that's the deep part inside of you. But you understand what the shadow is. Anyway, it's work that you do.
Yeah, I know the shadow for quite a few reasons, but yeah.
Yeah, correct. So that's the deeper part of yourself. But he believes that integrating that and the persona, which is the outer mask, creates a balanced individual. Mm-hmm. But holding on to the personas too long, what happens is the individual loses himself or herself. Mm-hmm. But with Nietzsche, this is where I don't agree with him. He believed wearing the mask is a way of you being able to create who you are.
Well, okay, hold on, right? Because the social mask in psychology is also known as the performer. So in that regard, technically, I guess he would also be right.
He is.
For the first mask, at least.
He is, but the only thing I disagree with is the overall mask and saying that it's not what he says, it's how it's implemented. He believes it's what we're supposed to do. So because now the mask is in something that's not authentic no more. You can create who you want to be. It's just like when an actor creates, when they become a character. Mm-hmm. You see how hard it becomes trying to shed it?
Yeah, that's just like Michael B. Jordan when he was Killmonger.
Right.
He had to go to therapy before and after.
Correct. Because he got so immersed in the character.
Yeah. He couldn't come out of it.
He couldn't come out of it.
Yeah, but that backs up what Nietzsche said though, right?
It does, but that's why, to me, I don't agree with it. That's all. Whether somebody believes he's right or not, it's just my view that I believe that that's not a path that I would tell people to go down. Unless you're good at shedding that stuff.
Yeah.
Unless you're like what I would call these characters in comic books. There's only two of them. Well, only two of them I want to talk about anyway. And the first one is Morph.
Yes.
The first one is Morph from X-Men. Mm-hmm. And if you watched X-Men, the original, well, yeah.
X-Men 96. It's on...
Yeah.
Or 97. It's on Disney right now.
Not 97, but the original.
Okay, so not, like the 92, 93, correct. 94 X-Men.
The early X-Men, right.
Okay.
But there's a reason. Because when we're talking about, shapeshifters, I know we're talking about Morph, but shapeshifters overall, they always end up coming up with and dealing with some type of identity crisis. They all do. Mm-hmm. Where they end up morphing and changing, where they lose themselves. Mm-hmm. But this was special with Morph. Because to me, it relates to us a whole lot. Morph lost himself, but he lost himself to an individual called Sinister.
Yes. Sinister was a mofo.
He was. But Sinister took control of him, and he lost who he was. But I always found that, very interesting. Well, now I find it very interesting that he lost himself to something sinister because it's something that we do all the time.
Every day.
Meaning that it's never a reason why we lose ourselves to something good. We always lose ourselves to something sinister. So whether the people who created that meant that or not, that's how I saw it. Morph kept changing and changing and changing due to a guy named Sinister, but he lost himself for sinister reasons just like we do every day.
And well, you got to take into account, right? Although these are cartoons that are being written and illustrated by adults.
They are.
So there are always undertones to all these cartoons.
But I wish that I would know that if that was the real undertone for why they did that.
Yeah.
Because like I say, being redundant when I say it, and I say it again, we never lose ourselves for a good reason. I mean, we never lose ourselves because of something good. Mm-hmm. We always lose ourselves for bad reasons.
Yes.
Something bad always happens. And then the second one was, what was it? I know it was Flash, and the character was Hannibal Bates.
Oh, yeah. The ending of that was crazy.
It was the ending.
Yeah.
It was the ending. And I know it was the first season, but I can't remember what episode.
I don't know. There were a lot.
I don't remember. But at the end of that episode, they captured him, and then they asked him why after they captured him, so who are you really? Mm-hmm. So Hannibal Bates, he said, so Hannibal Bates, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
And then he tried to change. He tried to find himself. He said, I forgot who I am. He said, I forgot.
That episode sticks out to me quite a bit, too, because while he was in the cell behind the glass, his face just kept changing. It just kept changing and changing and changing and changing because he lost who he was physically and psychologically because he had been so many people.
And that's one of those things that we experience today. Because now I ask, who are you really? Are you or are you the people you try to please? Are you like your mama? Are you your father, your brother, your sister, your teacher?
Your friends?
Your friends.
Or better yet, how people sometimes tend to be the people that they don't like. They still mimic them anyway.
Yeah, just to fit in.
Just to fit in.
Just to fit in.
And I believe that's the worst of all.
It is. So, with that being said, we're going to go to this last example right here. The one that I still love the most because most comic books or mythologies, I ain't going to say that. I hadn't read all of them. It's a lot of the shit I don't know. But that's okay. So we're going to go with Iron Man. We're going with Iron Man on this one, but from the Marvel Universe.
Good old Tony.
Tony Stark. At the end of the first Iron Man, that was the one. And he said, I am Iron Man. Mm-hmm. Because he was struggling with, hey, am I going to just, go with these cards? Or am I going to hide behind the identity of Iron Man? And he would have been just like any other hero.
He would have.
He would have been like Batman. You got the character himself, Iron Man, then you got Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. But when he said, I am Iron Man.
He owned it.
He owned it. Mm-hmm. He was Iron Man and Iron Man was him. He took off the mask.
Yep.
We are the same person. So the question becomes, how many people do you think can actually pull that one off?
Depends on who you ask. And it's funny you say that because I've gotten a reputation for being, using air quotes, authentic.
Yeah.
But that's not always a good thing.
Shit, why not?
Well, because sometimes it bites you, right? Because you have people who appreciate and who love that, just like Tony Stark, right? People love and appreciate the fact, like, oh, shit, this is Iron Man. But then there were other folks who were like, oh, shit, that's Iron Man. You know what I mean? Like, same words, but completely different connotations. So you have people who say, oh, that's Erica. You got other folks who were like, oh, god damn, that's Erica.
Well, it seems like it's more like a tinge of jealousy there because people can't be themselves.
I believe that, but for a long time, I wasn't either. Just like you weren't.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I mean, it took me a long time to get there, but hey, you get there.
If we're lucky, we'll get there.
Yeah, you're lucky you get there.
And then you don't give a shit what anybody thinks.
Yeah, but that comes with being okay with taking off the mask. And
Absolutely.
And not caring what people think.
Absolutely.
But that goes into the Japanese three mask theory. And I would like for you to tell us more about it.
Okay. So, the Japanese three mask theory is a metaphorical framework often associated with understanding human personality and behavior. Technically, speaking of it in this term, it's not a Japanese concept in its origins, but it's gained popularity in discussions about identity, psychology, and self-awareness. The idea suggests that each person metaphorically wears three masks, representing the different selves that we present in various contexts of our lives. And I'll tell you what they are. So you have number one is the social mask, the performer. We just talked about that one a little bit. Number two is the relational mask, the confidant. And then the third mask, which is my favorite, is your core mask. That's who you are at your essence.
That's correct. You know what I find very intriguing about the mask in general, and you can pick up after this one, is that the older I got, I ended up realizing and seeing how some of these they overlap a whole lot sometimes.
You think?
Sometimes they overlap.
How so?
It's like, say for instance, I know you've been at work and you've met some fucking dealt with an asshole at work. You know what I'm saying? You know, we're supposed to be having that first mask on, correct? Mm-hmm. Because that's the one you show, your professional face.
Correct.
That's it.
That's your performer.
Right. Mm-hmm. But sometimes you have assholes whose third mask show where the first mask is supposed to be on, and they get away with it. And yes. Sometimes it actually overlaps.
They are called, and I'm using air quotes again, y'all, they are called type A leaders.
Oh, that's the term for them?
Mm-hmm. Mm. I'm serious.
Well, but I do. I understand it.
But
I get it. But sometimes these masks overlap.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you that. I will.
Even if you don't recognize it, they overlap. That goes into, when we go to work every day, there's a certain persona that we're just naturally supposed to have.
Yeah.
When you go to work every day.
Yeah. But I will say this, though. It's not just at work that we wear these personas, right? Because then you can lead into the second mask, the confidant, which feeds directly off of the first mask. It's still a performative mask that we wear.
Yeah,
right.
But that's the one for like friends and family.
That's the ones for your friends, your family, the people that you want, and we'll say your inner circle, right? Not associates, but these are like your inner circle type people. This is more so, the mask where you take it off or you use it with people that you trust. It's easily adaptable. In my opinion, that is the mask where people lose themselves the most, because that's also around the same area people become people pleasing and, I'm going to do what I got to do to fit in with you because I need friends. I want to be a part of my family. I want my cousins to like me. I want my sister or my brother, or I want to please my mom so I don't piss them off. So in my opinion, I feel like that is a harder mask to wear than the mask you show to the entire world. Often because I think you wear it more. You wear it longer.
You do. You wear it longer. And this is one thing with that second mask. Especially when we're dealing with, if we're talking about friends and family. Mm-hmm. For example, we'll just go with the family one, right?
Okay.
I think this shit is dangerous because what ends up happening, what happens when you have family, right? Two different types of family. Mm-hmm. One secular or more open.
Of the world, if you will.
Yeah, of the world, correct. Okay. Of the world. Then you got another one that's highly religious. We have people like that in our families.
Oh, we both do.
Yeah, we have that. And you have to wear a separate mask with both of them sometimes.
A lot of people do.
And say, for instance, this would be a difficult, difficult one. Secular, of the world type people, religious people, right? But then you got somebody in the middle that's intelligent, highly intelligent, but you still have to deal with your family.
Oh, that's a fucking nightmare.
That's a nightmare.
That's a fucking nightmare.
Do you understand the mask that you have to wear? You will never be yourself around them. You will never be one side always saying, "Oh, you think you're better than me." Mm-hmm. Then you got the other side who has no boundaries and think that you want to hear about God every time you see him.
Yep. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Or they tell you, why you should be going to church and how you're damned to hell because you don't go to church because, oh my God, I have a brain to think of my fucking own.
And then you got the other side, man. You ain't messing with all them damn women.
Right, girl, you ain't trying to take all that nigga money? Come on, man. But honestly though, like you're laughing. You're laughing, but it's the truth.
It's the truth.
Right? So in that regard, where do you fit in? Right?
It's difficult.
Or you have two options. You either put the mask on to associate with both sides when you're on both sides, or you do the Erica thing and you don't give a damn. You don't wear a mask at all. And you piss everybody off.
But that's why I think Nietzsche's concept is very difficult.
I think it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Like, I understand it. And yes, we do it. Most people do it. But that doesn't take away from the dangers of that mask.
And that's why I say I don't agree with it because it's dangerous. Because everyone can't take it off. People end up becoming Hannibal Bates.
Absolutely. Especially, unfortunately, those who are people pleasers.
They end up saying, hey, I don't remember who I am.
Yeah.
I can't find it.
Yeah, and that's why you have people who are 45 years old in therapy saying, I don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that second mask, that shit is very dangerous.
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous. It is.
So when we talking about, or even with the second mask, when, you have very promiscuous friends, you're not promiscuous, and you're hanging around, and you're not promiscuous. That is hard. You have to pretend to give a damn.
People do. Absolutely.
People do.
You're right.
When you can't find anyone else and these are the only people you know, you wear the mask too.
Correct. Even if you're not doing the same thing.
So how do you overcome some shit like that though? You know what I'm saying? It's not even can you overcome it. How do you overcome it? How would you tell somebody to navigate that? How do you find yourself in that? What would you do? So
first of all, I want to put out there real quick that we're currently only pointing out the negatives to wearing a mask, but there are great positives to it as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
And I don't want to leave those out. So we're going to address those as well. But like I said, a few minutes ago, you have two options. You either assimilate to whatever side you're with, and you be two different people, or you don't give a damn at all and you remain true and authentic to who you are, and run the risk of pissing everybody off. Like, honestly, those are your options, and you have to figure out which one best suits you. How much do you care about someone else's opinion of you?
But that's part of what we're trying to navigate even here. And that is, what does that mean to be you?
I can't answer that question for other people.
Correct. And so it's just putting it out there. What does it mean to be you? Through all the things, all the masks you wear, because we all wear them.
Oh, we have to.
And I want you to understand, even in this podcast, I don't think that sometimes wearing the mask is a positive or negative thing. It's just a thing. And in there, we have to find what best suits us.
Correct.
We just got to find who we are, while wearing these masks.
I will say this. I believe that we attach a lot of negative connotations to like mask wearing or not being your authentic self, when in reality, people who are chameleons, people who can switch up, people who can take these masks on and off are some of the most dangerous people in our damn society.
A lot of politicians are like that.
Because they can fit in with anyone, anywhere. They're pretty much mimics. You know what I mean? Like, they can mirror you in what you do. And those people are dangerous. It's a fantastic skill to have. It's a major manipulation technique, but it's a fantastic skill to have if you use it right.
Only a few of us can do that. Or either two very, narcissistic people.
I was going to say it's a very narcissistic trait, but
it is a very narcissistic trait for sure. And within it, some people are chameleons.
Yeah, they are.
And I've known a few chameleons, but I've only known one but he struggled sometimes too because he was such a narcissist that
But you know what?
that he couldn't help but to show who he was.
I know exactly who you're talking about, but I don't think that he was a chameleon, actually.
Yeah.
I think that he was far too narcissistic
But that's why he
to
failed
be
at it
that.
too.
And that's why he failed at it, because
That's why he failed at
he
it.
was not a chameleon.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't I don't want to say assimilate, that's the wrong word, but he couldn't take off his mask. He didn't know when to change him up.
Yeah, because he was a know-it-all.
Well, I mean, he kind of did know it all, but
Yeah, I won't lie and say he did.
he was very intelligent.
Yeah.
Very, very intelligent.
Yeah, I think he's the second most intelligent person I ever came across.
Which is what made him an asshole.
Yeah. That was the third mask. If you ask me, he always wore his third mask.
So, and that's the funny thing about that third mask. That third mask, essentially, if we put it in terms of the quote unquote witchy things, that's your shadow self.
Yeah.
That's who you really are.
That's what Jung talked about.
Exactly. That's who you are at your core. And that I agree with wholeheartedly. Because if you've been to therapy or if you've been like to any kind of counseling or coaching or anything like that, you go through shadow work because it's a part of healing those broken pieces, you accepting those broken pieces, right? But that's also where those type A people come in because they know their strengths. Like they know and they admit, I'm an asshole, but I get shit done. I'm an asshole, but I may be low on emotional intelligence, but I do what needs to be done to run this business. And that is why a lot of people in that position, if they're not combative, they excel and exceed.
And those people who are the third mask, who you're talking about, they're normally very disagreeable.
Very disagreeable. Yeah.
And people who are very disagreeable always do very well in management, CEO, and leadership positions.
They do.
Always.
They do.
And that's the data. That's stats.
That is a scientific fact. That's been proven with years and years of research. And for me, I've always thought that was interesting. And why?
Yeah.
Simply because, when you think of it, you think of things that people like, right? And you would think that you want someone managing people or directing people to be likable, to be somewhat agreeable. But after being in management as long as I have been, I had to learn to be disagreeable. I had to learn to say, no, we're not doing that. Or either you're an adult, I'm an adult. It's still X, Y, and Z at the end of the day. So you can either do it this way or you can find somewhere else to work. It's that simple.
But, whether people agree with it or not, well, I don't give a damn if somebody agree with it, but it's this right here. Saying no is a skill.
It is.
It's a goddamn skill.
It's a learned skill at that.
It is.
It is.
Because really what you're doing when you say no, you're putting a lot of things on your plate that you can actually do. Because if you say yes to everything, you're stretching yourself thin.
And nothing gets done.
Nothing gets done that way.
No.
So if anybody can learn anything, learn how to say no. That's a skill. You'll get a lot of shit done.
Mm-hmm.
You'll take a lot of things off your plate. You'll prioritize very high value things. Learn how to say fucking no. But with the third mask, that's also that mask where, that position where we don't even want to face ourselves.
Oh, yeah, that's where shit gets hard.
Yeah, it gets very difficult.
Yeah.
Say for instance, you wear the first mask, which is going to work every day. And that second mask.
For your friends and family, your close people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You avoid the third one sometimes because it's something that's lurking underneath the surface, sometimes very insidious or dark. That's a part of you that even you don't want to face. Parts of you that exist that you don't even want to deal with.
The scary parts.
Scary parts, things that hide.
Mm-hmm. That's where you take that mask off when you're alone with yourself. I've told clients this, right? When you're alone with yourself and you're sitting there, there's no one around you. There's no friends, no family, no children. The feelings and emotions that you have at that time, that's your third mask. That is who you are at your core. Are you angry? Are you upset? Are you happy? Are you indifferent? Are you anxious? you need to figure out who you are when you are alone with yourself. Because if you can't, that's where 9 times out of 10, my boy, my girl, you're a people pleaser. You're morph. You're letting other people take all of your shit from you.
Yeah.
And you have no idea who you are. And that's dangerous.
It's a dangerous place to be in. But can you imagine what it's like to, I ain't gonna say what it's like, but people that's serial killers, they always wear a third mask. Like, say if it's like a Dahmer.
You think so? Because I don't think so. Because how are you luring people in?
Well, what I'm saying is this right here. I ain't gonna say always wear the mask, but they're very comfortable with being who they are, which is why they're killers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
like say for instance, like on a day-to-day basis, a comparison between someone like them and us, they know who and what they are. Like this right here, like Dexter. Dexter.
That's a really good show.
Dexter wore a lot of masks.
He did.
Matter of fact, he had to wear all 3 in the show.
He did.
He had to wear the one at work, the family one, and the one where he was a serial killer at night.
Yep, he did.
He had to wear all 3 masks. So what I'm saying is that serial killers wear a mask as an example. It's an extreme on both ends for us, and just to flesh out what it looks like. Mm-hmm. They show who they are, and they know who they are. But we wear so many masks on a day-to-day basis, we run away. We don't want to look into the mirror and see who we are. It's difficult.
So you think we're living with false identities?
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of us are.
So you think it's fair to say that we're out here living, like I said, false identities with a personality and perception of ourselves that someone else or people have given us?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Have you dealt with that ever?
Yeah, I won't lie and sit here and say I hadn't.
What was it like?
It was eye-opening. It was
At what point, when you realized what you were doing or what you had been doing, or how you were affected?
Well, it was more so when I truly became an adult. But I'll go back, not necessarily just to the origins, but for a long time, and to flesh it out, this is a third mask issue.
Okay.
It's a third mask issue, but it looks a little different. Because...
And this is your personal experience, right?
This is my personal experience. Personal experience is that this is a third mask issue, but I created a mask within the third mask. So I believed I was something that I wasn't for a very long time. So I was just going through, just navigating, just shutting the hell up just to keep peace. That's what I did. But within that, I lost who I was to a degree. I ain't gonna say to a degree. I lost who I was, and I believed that I was something I was not. But the funny part about this is life has this way of chipping away at you, slowly revealing the things underneath, to a degree. But I did do that. And what I intentionally did was create a mask that made me look like I was perfect. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that's what I was doing. I swear I didn't. Until shit hit the fan one day. Disaster hit and shit hit the fan. And you know what I ain't gonna say somebody, multiple people said. What? After shit hit the fan, they was like, so you're not perfect.
That had to be a kick in the nuts.
It wasn't. It was an eye-opener. Although, in that moment, I knew that it felt like as if we would call throwing shade. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. They threw shade, but at the same time, it was a realization. It was 2 of them. One of them is that I broke a law in the 48 Laws of Power.
Which one?
Law 46. It was Law 46, never appear too perfect. And if you appear too perfect, what it means is that you'll unintentionally create enemies. That's what you'll do. Because you seem as an individual that's not real. You seem perfect and like you have no flaws. And so even in the law, what it says, hey, you need to act like you got vices or something so you can appear real so you don't create enemies and people hate you secretly.
So you can be real and relatable.
Correct. Yep. So you can be relatable. And that's what I was not. And I didn't really, I truly didn't know that, you know, but when you are in it, you just keep on acting. You're acting. But that definitely chipped away at the piece of the mask that was left because I was pretending for a very long time to be perfect. And when they said, you know, but hey, you're not perfect, I was like, well, damn. And that one hit me, that hit a little hard, you know, not necessarily in a bad way, but in a oh wow way. And at that moment, I ended up realizing that people will create models of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what people do. This is what happens. Y'all need to understand this. People create models of who they believe you are.
Mm-hmm.
So what I ended up doing in that moment, it was creating this idea that I was perfect and I didn't even know it. And so people looked at me that way. Even though I didn't feel that way, that's how people saw me. They created this model of me. So what you need to understand is that no matter how you act or how you behave, people are going to create a model of how you act and how you behave. And there's no one else's fault as yours. Because that's the mask that you show people. And that's what they build the idea of what you are off of what you show them.
Well, that's all they have to build their idea off of.
It is.
Because, I mean, they're not so deeply connected to you that they know and understand the quote unquote real you.
Yeah. But the problem with this is this right here. If you are, say for instance, you know, you're wearing this mask of, say for instance, like not necessarily just shyness, but like a mask of, you know, just it's real. We just say shy. And the moment that what you end up doing, you have this outburst, like you get pissed off, where people are going to end up saying, well, you're the one that's wrong.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, or if you're passive and then one day you blow up and you're pissed off and you're angry, it's, oh my God, where did that come from?
Right. They're going to say that you're the one who's wrong.
Yeah, because now you're an angry person. And why are you angry? You never get angry.
And now, because you have not played into the model that they created of you.
Yes.
That is what has happened. And so in these moments or in that moment, over all these years, I didn't realize that I was creating a model of myself for the world to see. I never thought about it like that until it chipped all the way away. And I was like, okay, I got to change this.
Okay, so then that's great. But I have another question for you. Do you think within that time, or we'll say even now, right? You wearing that mask for so long, or you being that other man for so long that it has in some way maybe given you a little bit or a lot of bit of imposter syndrome?
No, with that one, I think we all have a little tinge of imposter syndrome where we don't treat ourselves well sometimes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all have that one, but I won't lie and say that I don't have a little bit of imposter syndrome, and that imposter syndrome comes from what we just talked about, this sense of perfectionism.
That's why I just asked.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, but imposter syndrome and perfection is a part of imposter syndrome too. Mm-hmm. And if I wear it sometimes, it would definitely be that one. It's appearing to not necessarily be perfect, but being extremely hard on myself because it's not exactly how I think it should be. And if it's not, that's okay.
So, all right. So then let me ask you this.
But I have to talk to myself about that all the time.
Just don't answer yourself.
I repeat it to myself.
Just don't answer yourself. So, real question. You just said that you put up an image of perfectionism that people expected from you, right? But it sounds like you too expect perfection from yourself. So the same image that you gave to everybody else, you're still wearing that. It may not be as bad, but it's still there.
Well, you know me. The question is, why do you think that?
This is not about me, sir. This is about Mr. Lewis. This is the people getting to meet you because I have spilled all of my beans in the first series.
I spilled beans too with near-death experiences too. So, you know, I really have. I damn near died. I mean, you got to know me. I handled that shit pretty well.
I think people learned, if nothing else, that Courtney Lewis is fearless.
Yeah.
And does not fear death for even a freaking minute.
No, I don't. Yeah. I fear living more so than I fear that one. So
We're going to address that shit another episode. We're going to move right on past that one.
But honestly, to your question, is about perfectionism in myself. It's because because I'm an artist. It's what I do. So
You're an artist and you sensitive about your shit like Erica.
no, I'm not sensitive.
Like Miss Badu.
No, I'm not sensitive, and it's not that I even give a shit about what other people think. It's about what I think, and it's if I believe it's good enough. So I'm always extremely hard on myself,
So that relates to every part of your life.
and I have to shut it off sometimes.
How do you shut it off? I'm sure there are other folks who suffer with it too. So I'm asking, what do you do to shut it off? How do you stop it?
The best way I can do or explain that is I just shut my brain off and just say it's enough. Really, look, if that's too simplistic, I apologize. Like, fuck that. No, I don't apologize. But sometimes I just stop. It's like, you know what? I've done as much as I can do.
You need to get up and walk away.
Get up, walk away, because you know what? There's always a time where you can come back and refine. It might not be what I want right now. Let's say, for instance, if I did a writing. Okay, it may not be what I want it to be right now. But I'm going to come back to it, I can do it again. Or it's going to be another time where I can write something else. I can improve on what I think I didn't do the last time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, perfectionism does not have to be just right now. I can do it over a period of time.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's put less stress on you?
Definitely. Because I stopped giving a fuck as much.
There we go. Okay.
I'm just being honest.
But that's probably a good thing for you.
Yeah, that's really what I stopped doing.
Because knowing you, I know that sometimes you can get, okay, I'm lying, all the time. You can get wrapped up in caring too much about one particular thing. And then you become kind of, a little bit obsessive about it. And until it's perfect, used to be, you're much better now, but until it was perfect, you would obsess over things till you got it just the way you wanted it. And that's not just art, that's you, like as a man.
Yeah, that's who I am. It's just, and also sometimes you got to accept that some things are just part of your character and your personality too.
Absolutely.
So although we can characterize some of those things as imposter syndrome, like the perfectionism, I just think that may be a part of who I am.
Well, that's where I was leading with that. I don't think it's always a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't. So with that, it might be a little bit of both, and it is part of mask wearing. You know what I'm saying? The imposter syndrome, but overall, I just think that sometimes that can be a character and a personality thing too. But previously, that was a legit mask. That was a legit mask. But this one right here, that if we can say that's a mask, it's a mask because I care. I care about what I do.
So then
I put a lot of work in. Like, say, for instance, when I do this podcast, I'm getting everything together for it. I put a lot of work into it.
Mm-hmm.
Or the infrastructure that it took to get it up. A lot of work has gone into it. Or when we work on the blog, you know what? It's a lot of work that goes into that, and I oversee it all. So that's just who I am. Overall, that's who I am. And with that, again, with that being said, it's kind of a mask that I wear. That mask is who I am. So
as Jung would say, that's a part of your shadow self. That's who you are at your core.
That's part of just who I am. Because when I get immersed in it, I'm in it. So that's not like something I'm pretending to do. That's who I am. It's like this right here. You know my saying. You know the saying that I have. Like, either I'm doing this shit or I ain't.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I am. Either I'm all in or I'm not. Either I'm doing this shit or I'm not.
So in being in either 0% or 100% kind of person, having like no really middle ground or gray area, are there ever any times where maybe you feel like you haven't done enough, or maybe you're not enough, or maybe you need to do just a little bit more?
I'll answer the part of not enough, because I know a lot of people might deal with those moments of not being enough. And the only times those moments of not enough comes in is this right here. And this is being as transparent as possible. Those moments where I have no control over. And that's the damn truth. That's the truth.
Can you give an example?
It's hard to give an example, but because the one that comes to my mind, I really don't feel like sharing right now. Honestly, I don't. But
Okay.
That one I don't really feel like sharing. But I can say the one that comes to my mind, I have not much control over because it was out of my control to begin with. It wasn't my problem to begin with, but
Okay.
but the problem became mine.
So the fear of not being enough in this regard is because of a responsibility that someone or some other people placed on you inadvertently.
That is true. Yeah, that's exactly it. And but that shit right there, it reveals parts of the mask too. The third one.
How so?
No, the third one, because with the third mask, it's parts of you that you hadn't faced or that you don't want to face. And as that thing has transpired, it made me face parts of myself that I didn't want to deal with. I'm not gonna lie about that when it did, because it was difficult. Because there was a lot of things that had to be processed on top of dealing with, that issue, with what we're discussing right now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was, so that's what was difficult about that one.
I think if I were to speak for myself, there are only a couple of times in my life where I feel like or fear I'm not doing enough. One of those is, well, in both of these things, I just want to say I care a great deal about, because I've spent my life building both, right? Number one is my family. Like, as a wife, am I doing enough? As a mom, am I doing enough? But the second one, I think, it's a little more frustrating sometimes, because that's my career.
Correct.
Right? I'm going into my 21st year in my career field, and it makes you sit back, and even after all these years, and yes, I'm an expert, and yes, I've trained tons and tons of people. I've opened and closed tons of accounts, but there's always there in the back of my mind, like, what else could I have done? What more could have been done? What did I miss?
But that's part of your personality, though.
It is. It is.
Because you care. You have a passion. Listen, the best way I can describe that, but you know how sometimes they say, find your passion in life. I don't think that's necessarily always true. Maybe you just need to find out what you're passionate about. And just be passionate about the things that you do, and not just finding your passion. And what I see with you is you're passionate about what you do. So I believe whether you do what you do or not, you're going to be the exact same passionate no matter what you do. And I think that you found, personally, that's just me, a secret. That's a secret that I ain't gonna say no one, but many people don't find. Most people want to find a passion, find out what they do. But the problem with that becomes, if you find a passion and then it don't work out,
then you have nothing.
But when you're passionate about what you do, that's something totally different. So with you found out what you're passionate about. I mean, you're passionate about what you do.
And because of that, that's probably honestly the number one reason why I excel in what I do.
Yeah. So that's a good part of your mask, though. That's who you are.
It is. At my core, it's who I am.
It's your core.
Yep.
But I support you with that, though.
You always have.
I support you with that, and you have a lot of responsibility. I'm like, okay, Erica, go do what you have to do out there. I got you. That's how I hold this down.
You do. And
I'm gonna always support you with that. Always.
And, that makes, in a lot of ways, and don't get the big head right now, but in a lot of ways, that makes me a lot more fortunate than a lot of women.
Yeah.
Honestly, because there's no power or gender struggle in our house, right? There's no Courtney does this except cutting the grass. I ain't doing that shit. I'll pay somebody to do it. But there is no Courtney does this and Erica does that. We don't have to worry about that in this house. There's no, oh my God, I do more than you or you do more than me. It's whenever I'm home and we're all together, that's what we do.
That's a home mask. Is there such a thing? If it's not, I just created it.
You ain't create nothing. Hush. What we tell Xavier? Hush it. Shh.
That's the home mask.
Stop
Mom.
it.
Come on now. Stop it.
We're not creating nothing today.
Look, I'm a creator. That's what I do. I create shit.
See that? Dead silence again. Did you see that? Did you see what you did there?
That was on behalf of you, not me. I didn't do that. You the one who just went silent. I didn't do that.
You know, the last show and then this show, every time I get on the road talking about things, you cut me off and you stop me.
Well, how about this?
That is quite disrespectful.
Well,
I know your mama taught you better than that.
she didn't. She was horrible herself.
Well, shit. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Yeah, that's what she said too.
I know. That's why I said it.
But please, I will allow you to retort. And you were talking about the home.
You know what? I don't even want to anymore. I lost the zeal of what I had going on there.
Well, regardless.
You took the wind out of my sails.
Well, I put the wind back in your sails because I will always support you in what you do and your third mask. As deep as it goes, when they're talking about the passion of what it is that you do, no, I got you. And I always will.
But you know, like not being funny at all when I say this, but between therapy for myself and digging deeper into like spirituality, hoodoo, all that other stuff where it required me to do a different type of shadow work, I was able to dig my heels into myself, right? I got to dig my nails into myself, and everything that I did not like, I did learn to accept. But once I accepted that shit, I discarded it. And that is how I have become so authentic, because anyone who really knows me will say the same thing about me. Oh, Erica, that's just who she is. Like, that's how she rocks. Like, if I rock with you, I rock with you tough. And if I don't, then I just don't. But I'm not going to wear 1, 2, 3 mask. That number one, is exhausting. And number two, I did that for, just like you, the majority of my life. Like, turning 30 was probably one of the best things that happened to me. Because me turning 30 made me realize that I genuinely don't care about a lot of shit. Like, my early life was hell. And because of that, I had to learn how to shed layers, right? And I think that's important for everyone to do. If you cannot do it on your own, then by all means, get a life coach, go to therapy. But you have to learn how to be able to adapt. And there's nothing wrong with wearing each one of these masks as long as you're adaptable in a way that suits you, that doesn't leave you empty and unfilled and unfulfilled.
And also, with this one, I would recommend people to actually get involved with other people, whether they're friends, especially a romantic relationship if you have one. Find someone and get close to, have someone where you can actually take the mask off, period.
Yes.
I mean, period, where you don't have to, slightly wear the first one, second one, and third one.
Where you can just be.
Where you can just be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because the shit is exhausting wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that you've come across moments in your life where you wore a mask long enough. Say, for instance, like going to work mask.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to shed it when you come home. Like going to work every day. Then you come home, you got to come home and take that mask off. Sometimes it's hard to take the mask off at home after you've been working all day.
Well, or let's take it a step further. What about you've been working all day, but you had a really shitty day, but you come through the door, you got kids.
Yeah.
Now you got to, the whole way home, you were cussing and pissed off. But when that key turns and that door opens, you got to, hey, mommy, hey, daddy. Baby, I don't want to smile, but let me flip this damn switch.
You got to flip it.
Because I really just want to be locked away in a room somewhere where I can just de-freaking compress. But no, from mask 1 to now we're on the mask 2.
It was something I want to address a little bit. What happens with, because I know it's these moments in life where people wear masks because we expect to see them. And I'm not talking about, this is kind of dealing with, what I was talking about when people create models of who they think you are.
Mm-hmm.
But say, for instance, like when you wear a mask, and for instance, the mask of a pastor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that mask is like this mask where people always expect a certain something of you because of what you represent.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that one?
I think that if you wear that mask for too long, you completely forget who the hell you really are.
I think that's troubling, though. I mean, to me, I find that mask troubling, or mask like it, or anything similar,
It's kind of scary if you think about it.
because it takes, because they forget that people forget that you're human.
Well, I mean, the best example of that, honestly, is from my life that I can remember was probably Princess Di. Remember Princess Di, right?
Yeah, I do.
And ultimately how she ended up dying.
I do.
Right? People, she was, number one, she seemed, from what we saw and what we've heard, she was a great woman. But people put her on such a high damn pedestal that this lady was literally chased to death. People forget, that you're a human. Like you said, like you got these big pastors, right? We'll use
T.D. Jakes.
Man, I didn't want to use that.
No, we're going there. We're going there. We're going there.
Okay. T.D. Jakes. People forget that at the end of the day, when he is not in that pulpit, he is still a man. He is a human being, right? And he's never done anything ill to anybody that anybody has ever said. He's not one of those little boy touching pastors.
But the issue is the mask he wear,
It's a persona.
It's the persona.
Yeah, it becomes who he is.
That's Jung, and everybody, he says the persona. That's the one that everybody sees, and that's the one he says is dangerous. Why he says you have to incorporate the shadow, because if you do not incorporate the shadow, then you have this chance of getting lost in it. And I do believe that these guys or people who have to wear masks like that based off appearances and what people perceive the position to be or something similar, they can easily get lost in it.
So here's my thing with that. But then you have on the flip side of that, we'll say celebrities who don't wear the mask, who are like, get your camera out my fucking face. Now you know what? They're a bad guy. They're a villain.
I'll go with, what's his name? Jeff Bezos on this one. When him and his wife was splitting up and the paparazzi took the picture of him naked over his fence or something like that.
He his own balcony.
You know what and him and his woman. And what he did, he went out there and he released the photos himself.
Just like, remember when Sia did the same thing?
Yeah, that's correct.
She was in her own yard and the paparazzi took pictures of her and released her face. So before, that's what, she was wearing, the big wigs to cover her face and stuff. Yeah. And she was naked. And so they were like, Sia's real face. And before that article ever hit press, she was on Twitter saying, here I am. Here's my naked ass and my face.
I like her music, though. I
love her. Her music is just phenomenal. I love her a lot. But the thing is, these people don't have autonomy anymore. They're not viewed as people. These pastors aren't viewed as humans. They're viewed as some godlike creature because they talk about the damn Bible in a pulpit for an hour on Sunday.
And then the moment they have a human experience, as Dave Chappelle would say.
Mm-hmm. Now they're bad guys and they're going to hell.
Now they're going to hell.
But mind you, they're human. Yes, but they're human experience. It's the same shit them folks in their damn on their pews every Sunday do. Or not nearly as bad as the shit they're doing. You got folks in the church having whole ass orgies.
But the only difference is everybody knows him and it's publicized.
Exactly. It's
publicized.
Like what Betty Wright said, the only difference is you know me and I don't know you.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
So I find that wearing certain kinds of masks and those types of masks is the one that I wouldn't want to wear.
Yeah, no, I never want to be larger than life.
But also that, like I say, that one still, that mask still goes into kind of like perfection. That particular mask. I'm just using it as an example, and that breaks the 4 to 6 law.
Yeah.
And if that's the mask you wear, you may want to wear it really well.
Don't have any cracks.
Yeah, don't have no cracks in that mask.
Don't have any damn cracks.
Because people are secretly looking to hurt you or waiting for you to fail because they're there.
You know what? Not even fail. All they need is a crack.
Yeah.
And they'll do the rest.
Yeah.
they'll help you fail. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. But that's part of, or me getting into the just saying that we can't wear the mask for too long, and this goes into back to where we started, Jung. We said the persona.
Mm-hmm.
You can get lost in persona if you don't incorporate your shadow. And you have to incorporate that shadow because you don't want to get lost in the persona. And some of these people get lost in who we see them as.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this idea of perfection, or this idea of greatness. You know, so when somebody becomes great, they wear this. You know, we think they're great, and they wear this mask of greatness, but then they fall off like an athlete. Great performer, but then he has bad financial issues later on. He falls off.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody talks bad about him. He's not shit anymore, or she's not shit anymore. You know, if somebody gets injured, hey, well, since you can't hit that goddamn ball and hit the ball, especially if it's tennis, or kick the ball, soccer, or whatever it is. If you can't wear the mask of the athlete no more,
Who are you?
Who are you?
Like these aren't real humans with real feelings and real emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you're still human. So what we need to be very aware of is that mask that we wear, because it's easy to get lost in it. Just like Jung said, incorporate the shadow. You have to. You got to find out who you are. Don't let your persona take over.
Yep. And in order to accept that shadow, like I said earlier, I suggest you get a life coach or a therapist who deals with spirituality as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because traditional therapists, they're not going to take you through shadow work the way it needs to be done. And it's not a knock to anybody. It's just that they have a certain set of rules they have to stick to. But you need to find somebody who can help you through that, who can help you accept you. Because once you do that, it's the most freeing shit that you could ever do for yourself.
Okay. Because I know we're coming close towards the end of this. My question for you is, when did you get free? When did you shed your mask?
Like I said, turning 30 was great for me.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, when I finally just like shed it all, I was probably maybe around 32. 32 when I was just like, you know what, man, bro, fuck this. Like, I am who I am. You're either going to accept me or you're not. And when I did that, I lost a lot of people because I was not agreeable. Right? I was saying what I really thought the whole time. Like it's funny now, looking back on it, because it was like, why did you wait so long?
It's a process.
It's definitely a process.
It's a process.
But I can say now though, the people who are around me, because I've asked, like, if you could describe me in one word, what would it be? People are like, funny, silly, goofy, but they all say authentic. And that means more to me than anything else. Me being known as someone who is myself through and through, no matter what, that gives me peace.
Well, that's a beautiful thing, because that's what everybody needs to try to seek out. Everybody needs to seek out what it means to be authentic, to be themselves.
But I don't think the authenticity is for everybody.
Maybe not. But for those who can find it, please find it.
Please.
Find it.
Don't be afraid of it.
More so you can, not because of what the world thinks of you, but because of what you think of you.
That's it.
So when you look at yourself and you can say, I didn't leave anything on the table. I know who I am. And that's what we need to be proud of. Not what the world thinks of us.
Correct.
What we think of us.
Correct.
Because that's the one that matters to me the most. Well, even whether others give a fuck about it or not, that's what I care about. I don't care about what no one thinks about me. When I look in the mirror, when I look at it, look at the person that I'm staring at.
Are you happy with what you see?
Am I happy with what I see?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was moments where I would glance away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was uncomfortable with who I was.
It was hard to look at yourself.
It was hard to look at myself.
Mm-hmm.
But now, I don't give a fuck.
We know.
And I can look across for him. I can look at him, and he can stare back. And we know we're there together. We're on the same page.
He looked back and nodded at you?
Like,
yeah, bro, we here.
You did what you're supposed to do.
It's a beautiful feeling, isn't it?
Oh, it's freeing.
As hell.
Yeah.
It's like those puppet strings get cut.
Yeah, Ultron said that there are
no strings on me. I love that movie.
Yeah.
Boy, there are a lot of things that people can say about us in this podcast, but they probably think we don't take shit seriously.
Oh no. I'm pretty sure after these goddamn episodes that we drop, they know this shit is serious. These are not like regular topics that people talk about every day. We're very serious.
But but like every other episode, right? The beautiful part about this is, even if you've lost yourself along the way, the beautiful part about it is you can always find yourself again. Or better yet, you can reinvent yourself without having to give a damn about your past. You don't have to worry about what you were. You don't have to worry about who you need to make happy. You don't have to worry about who you need to please or what someone will think of you. Put yourself first. Love yourself first. Be self-aware. Number one, be self-aware and take accountability. Let's start there. Let's do that first. And then worry about the other shit later.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Is there anything else that you want to leave with people?
I want to bring back the question that you asked, in the beginning. Who are you? Who are you? Not only who are you, but who are you and what do you want? If you can't answer either of those questions, I highly suggest you start your shadow work. If you can't say, I am Erica Lewis, and describe yourself as a person, not a wife, not a mother, not an employee, but as an individual person. And if nothing you come up with even comes close to I am happy, please start working on you. Become self-aware because you need it.
And I would say you should question, who are you pretending to be? Who you're pretending to be. Because you guys need to understand that the mask overlap. The third mask can overlap with the first, can overlap with the second. They can switch around. It happens. And sometimes you can even create masks that you didn't even know that you was creating, just like I did. So what you need to do is just question yourself. Who are you pretending to be? And can you overcome who you're pretending to be? Are you like those characters that we were talking about earlier, more from X-Men, Hannibal Bates from Flash, when they lost themselves? And it took them a long time to find themselves, and one of them never did. So who are you pretending to be? Are you your cousins, your mother, your father, your brothers, your sister, your friends, your culture? What are you?
The people you don't like?
Yeah, the people you don't like. Who are you pretending to be? Well, whoever you're pretending to be, chip away at that mask. Chip away at it and find who resides underneath. In this episode, I have taken off my makeup. Let's see if you can take off yours. And I want to thank everyone for listening to the Students of Life podcast.
We appreciate you.
Yes. And again, thanks for listening, and you can find us on all streaming platforms currently, okay? We're on Spreaker, we're on Apple. iHeartRadio.
Audible.
Spotify. Did I say Spotify?
Nope, Spotify.
And
We're on Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We on so many. I'm forgetting already.
Coming soon, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. That's coming real soon. So look out for those. We're going to put them on Facebook too. So.
Yeah.
So everyone, I want to say thank you for listening to the Students of Life podcast. Live and learn.
Life is a lesson.